So good evening to everyone. It's a happy wildlife week. Welcome, sir. So I
Thank you, sir.
welcome Rajapalayam Rajus College Management, the Secretary of Rajapalayam Rajus College, and the President of Rajapalayam Rajus College, and the Principal, and the faculty members, and the students, and my colleagues. So welcome all. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So today's webinar by Mr. NIRIT DATTA, Conservationist, India's first conservation tech evangelist, founder, Environmetal, Extremist, India. The Nature Club of Rajapalayam Rajus College and Wildlife Association of Rajapalayam organized a national webinar on a layman guide to the world of snake and snake bite mitigation on celebrating World Wildlife Week. So welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Can we start, sir?
Yes, sir. You can, sir.
Okay, very warm good evening to each and everyone present over here on the live session, as well as those who are going to watch the video in the future. So basically today's topic is all about a layman's guide towards snake conservation and snake bite mitigation, right? Because snakes are one of the most feared animals on planet Earth, right? And the biggest reason of fearing them is misconceptions inside your head. And majority of those misconceptions happen because of the perception that you have when you watch a Hollywood or a Bollywood movie, right? But before we start talking in brief about snakes and snake bite mitigation and snake conservation, first you have to understand that what is the importance of having snakes around us. What is important? Now you have to realize, you might think that a snake might be a venomous or non-venomous, and if you are surrounded by a venomous snake, it's better to kill off the snake, right? What if the snake bites you in the future and you die, right? A lot of health complications might happen, right? But the thing is, I've been into the field a lot of times, to rescue snakes, and people often ask me this question, that boss, what is the point of saving a single snake? What is the point of rescuing a single snake? Let the snake die. How will it affect the human population? It is going to affect. So first you have to understand the fact that how the snake is important for human survival. Now, to all the people who have watched my previous webinar, which we did around a week back, I'm going to explain the same concept once again. It was part of the California experiment where agriculture was taking place. Agriculture was being done in a huge piece of land by humans, right? And suddenly, what the first experiment was all about, they decided to wipe out the whole snake population from that region. So they decided to wipe out the whole snake population from that region. And what basically happened was the agricultural productivity went down by 43%. So there was a huge piece of land where humans were carrying out agriculture, and they decided to wipe out the snake population. They killed all the snakes in that region, and the agricultural productivity went down by 43%. Now, what does that mean? That if that particular piece of land was producing 100 kgs of rice per month, now they will be producing only 57 kgs of rice per month. That is shortage of food, rise in price of food. Right now, you might be thinking, how can a snake be related to the agricultural productivity, right? Now, one of the biggest enemies of agriculture are the pests, the rodents, right? Which destroys the crop. Now, if I talk about the rodent population, they multiply in numbers. They multiply very fast. That is, they reproduce very fast. So the snake population is very crucial to keep a check or control the population of rodent in any particular region, and hence it is a very crucial the snakes play a very crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance of planet Earth. Now we have to realize this is not only about snakes. We humans are dependent on each and every aspect of planet Earth, each and every animal and organism and species, and we have to learn the art of coexistence. So basically, the session is all about, you have to realize the fact that when you go out to rescue a snake, you're not only responsible for saving a human life, you'll be also responsible for saving a snake life. And setting a right example in the society. Because a lot of places I've visited, I've carried out snake rescue activities. Before even I reached the spot, the snake was already killed by the localites over there. And the sole reason of killing the snake was fear, to be very honest. And you have to realize, see, I feel very bad when people call humans snakes. There is no point of calling humans snakes, because snakes won't harm you all of its own until and unless you tamper with it. Snakes are not like humans, that they are going to come out of the blue and bite you and harm you or kill you. Just take all those information out of your head regarding snakes that you have gained after watching any Hollywood or Bollywood movies, right? So even before you try to understand about snakes, snake conservation and snake bite mitigation, the first and foremost important thing is to realize the fact that you have to remove all the misconceptions that you have in your brain when it comes to snakes. You have to remove all the myths and misbelief. And this is the biggest reason why you fear snakes. And you have to realize the fact. Let me share a PPT with you. Let me share you a PPT. So, is my screen visible? Okay. So, is my screen visible? So, is my screen visible? I hope my screen is visible. Okay. So, as I've stated, you can save a life, right? And when you work towards snake, or when you try to understand the behavior of snake, the various aspects of snake, the ecology of snake, you have to realize that you are not only going to be responsible to save a human life, you will be also responsible to save a snake life, right?
Sorry for interrupt, sir. Sorry for interrupt. Kindly make a screen full, sir. Just click
Can I?
F5.
Yeah, yeah. Clicking F5, it's basically not working. Wait, I'll just check
Sir,
out one.
sir, it was, there is a button below the down, sir. There is a stop sharing below, sir. Kindly, if you click it, it will be maximum.
Yeah, I've done F5. I've done F5, but I don't know why it's not working. Just hold on to a second. I'll
Okay.
just try
Okay.
to do something else. Okay, now
Yes.
it's visible, sir.
Yes. Clear.
Okay. Now, to all the people, sorry for the interruption. India, if I talk about India, India is one of the most affected country in the world when it comes to snake bites. Every year, approximately 50,000 people in India either they die or they suffer due to snake bites. Just try to understand. 50,000 people in India either die or suffer injuries due to snake bite. And these are the number of reported deaths in hospital. A lot of people in rural areas who get bitten by snake, they die, but those deaths are not reported. But this is the minimum approximate number that we have every year on an average. Okay. Now, a lot of people might be thinking that it's the venom of the snake that kills a human. No, it's not only the venom of the snake that kills a human, it's the ignorance that kills. It's the lack of knowledge related to snakes that kills humans whenever a snake bites you. So, you have to understand the fact that at least once in your life, either you are going to come across a snake, or you are going to come across a victim who has been bitten by a snake, right? So basic and proper knowledge is very important. And when you have the basic and proper knowledge, not only you will be having the power to save a snake life, you will be also having the power to save a human life. So for the next 40 minutes, as we discuss, make sure it's going to be a very interesting discussion. Make sure you hear it, you watch it very properly, and whatever queries you have in your mind at the end of the session, we are going to do a question and answer round. You can ask me the questions right over there. Here we go. So first and foremost important thing is we are going to talk about myths, which is most important thing, because majority of the people, whether educated or non-educated, with us, city people or with the rural people, majority of the people in the country have a lot of myths, misinformation, and misbelief regarding snakes. So first we are going to break down all the myth and get to know the truth behind all those myths. So the first, biting the snake back can heal snake bites. That is a notion in India that if a snake bites you, in order to escape death, you need to bite back the snake. Now try to understand. The real fact is that another mysterious belief is that a snake bitten person in turn bites the snake, the poison would go away from the body of the victim, right? And the first and foremost thing that I would love to tell you is the reason why I've written the term poison over here is it's a wrong term. This is the reason why I always use wrong term in my slides. It's never poison, it's always venom. So a snake always secretes venom and not poison, right? Either it's a venomous snake or a non-venomous snake. It's not a poisonous snake or a non-poisonous snake, but it's a venomous or a non-venomous snake. So a snake bitten person in turn bites a snake, the venom would go away from the body of the victim. If the victim takes the risk of biting the snake would only attack the victim again, and this would only result in the snake injecting all its venom into the body of the victim, which would in turn result in quick death of the patient. Now, if a snake bites me, I will bite back the snake and I'm going to escape death. No, if you're again going to hold the snake and try to bite it, it will bite you more and more, injecting more venom, and your chances of survival is going to be very less. So the next time, just please try to understand, when you're going through this particular talk show, you're going to gain a lot of information. So in the future, whenever you're going to find any human who talks nonsense about snake, who believes in myths and misbelief, make sure you educate them. Snakes, remember, you hurt them and can take revenge. You have seen a lot of Nagin movies on Hollywood, on Bollywood, that depicts a snake that actually comes back to bite a human who killed its friend. No, snakes can't remember. Snakes can't remember you by your face, by your body, or by your scent. Snakes are not vengeful animals, and they do not have the necessary intelligence to remember people or places for getting revenge. Again, don't totally believe in what movies show you. This is my favorite myth. Ojas or mantras can save you from snake bites. It we can You'll find this basically in rural areas of the country, and you won't even believe, literate people from the city areas of the country still believe in this myth that if a snake bites you, you go to the ojha, or you go to any baba, or any a person who claims to be a god man, a person who can heal you with magic or any Vedic or tantric moves. He or she is faking you, because the only way to survive a snake bite is to go to the hospital and administer an anti-snake venom. Now, I'll tell you how this actually works. So even if you go to any magical person, they won't be able to save you from a snake bite. But still, you have heard from a lot of people that their friend have received a snake bite. They went to a healer and they actually saved him from death. I'll tell you how this works. Now, just try to imagine yourself in that position that you have been bitten by a snake. Now you don't know whether the snake is venomous snake or a non-venomous snake. You go to the Baba or the Oja or any healer, he's going to chant some mantras and you're going to survive, right? And what are you going to think? That the healer is magical, he's God and he saved my life. But the truth is that you were bitten by a non-venomous snake. Now, it might also happen that you have been bitten by a cobra or a venomous snake, and you go to the Baba and you survive. Now, again, you might be thinking that the Baba or the Oja might be a magical person. No, it might happen, and there is going to be high chances that when the venomous snake, like a cobra, has bitten you, it did not inject its venom. So when a lot of time it happens when a snake bites you, venomous snake like cobra, it bites you, it does not inject its venom. So on the first strike, it tries to warn you. So it does not inject its venom, right? It's called the dry bite. And you think that the particular person has healing and magical powers. A lot of time it happens that when you go to the Baba or the Ojha or those healers, they're going to say that had you come to me around, 1 hour earlier, I could have saved his life, because they know things have gone out of his hand. So the only way to escape from a snake bite is to go to the hospital as soon as possible and get yourself an anti-snake venom. You can orally suck venom from the site of the bite. Now, this is the weirdest myth that I've ever heard of, I've ever come across. You have seen in movies, especially Bollywood movies, where the heroine of the movie gets bitten by a snake and the hero comes and sucks the venom out of the bite site and the heroine survives. It does not work like that. You can't suck out the venom from the bite side. It's impossible. And even for a moment, I believe in the fact that you can suck out venom from the bite side. What if you have injuries or incision inside your mouth? The venom will go inside your mouth and you are going to die. You are going to get affected by the venom. So this myth does not work. You can orally suck venom from the bite side. It does not work. Some snakes carry poison on the tail. No, there are no snakes on planet Earth that carries poison on its tail. There are no such snakes. For some species of snakes, there is a wrong belief that the poison resides in its tail. There is also a wrong belief that when such varieties of snake bite, they inject venom through the tail into the body of the victim. Till now, no snake is scientifically proved to have venom in its tail. So there is no snake on planet Earth that basically has venom on its tail. Snakes can listen to music. Now, you have heard a lot of times, you have seen a lot of times that the snake charmers are actually making the snakes dance to the tunes. Along with the movement of the snake charmer, you find the snake actually moving left and right, to and fro. It does not work. Snakes cannot hear music, they don't have external ears. It is falsely believed that snakes can listen to music. Snakes never dance to the tune of the snake charmers. In fact, snakes cannot hear the music. It is the movement of the snake charmer that forces the snakes to follow a particular movement. Now, if I stand in front of a cobra and if I do like this, if I do like that, the snake is also going to move its head. It is going to play as a watchful snake, because to them, we are going to be a source of threat. So it's going to be alert. Snakes carry a stone in the head which can make you immune to snake bite. We call that the Nagmani. A lot of time there's a myth in the country, you'll hear that the snakes have magical stones on their head that can heal a lot of issues of humans. And due to this myth, a lot of snakes are actually killed to actually find that stone. If you believe in such facts, we doubt you might be having a stone inside your head instead of that brain. Snakes don't carry a stone or a diamond in their forehead. Such baseless facts get snakes killed by fanatics. You might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people are actually taking out a stone from the head of the snake. Those are all morphed videos. There is nothing like that. Stop believing all these myths. Now, snakes drink milk. You might have seen, you might have heard about that festival called the Nag Panchami, where people come from all across the world, and they offer prayers to the snakes. They make them drink milk. Now, the secret is snakes don't drink milk. Snakes are reptiles, not mammals, to drink milk. Milk cannot be digested by snakes and might pose serious risk to the health of the snake. Now, what basically happens is during Nag Panchami, all the snake rescuers, they catch all the snakes, they take out the teeth, they seal their mouth using threads, and they actually catch these snakes around 2 to 3 months before the Nag Panchami. And what basically happens is they dehydrate the snake. They don't provide water to the snake. And after 2 to 3 months, when the snake actually didn't drink much water, even if you provide venom to the snake, sorry, even if you provide Coca-Cola to the snake, even if you provide Fanta to the snake, even if you provide hot chocolate to the snake, the snake will drink it. So when you provide milk to the snake during festivals like Nag Panchami, the snake will end up drinking the milk because it is dehydrated. It needs water in its body. And this is why people believe in the myth that snakes drink milk. All snakes are venomous and they attack human beings. There's a very big myth that all snakes are venomous and they attack human beings. But the fact is, not all snakes are venomous. Majority are non-venomous. In India, out of 277 types of snakes, only 61 are venomous, and again, out of those, 20 are sea snakes. Snakes are always defensive in nature. They will always try to avoid human presence. Nearly 60% of the time, snakes do not inject venom when they bite. This is known as a dry bite, which I've stated earlier. I hope everything is clear when it comes to myth. Everything is clear right in front of your eyes. Let us recap once again. Number one myth: all snakes are venomous and they attack human beings. It's not true. Snakes drink milk. It's not true. Snakes carry a stone in their head which can make you immune to snake bite, which is called the Nagmani. It's not true. Snakes can listen to music. It's absolutely not true. Some snakes carry poison on the tail. Absolutely not true. You can orally suck venom from the side of the bite. Absolutely not true. Ojhas or mantras or healers can save you from snake bites. Absolutely not true. Go to the hospital if you are bitten by a snake, or ask a person to go to the hospital the moment you find him bitten by a snake. Snakes remember if you hurt them and can take revenge. Get out of the Hollywood and Bollywood movies. It's not true. Biting the snake back can heal snake bites. It's absolutely not true. I hope everybody have understood all the myth. If you want, you can write down all the points. Now, first and foremost thing is to identify all the snakes that come under the banner of Big Four. So, Big Four are the four different species of snakes that are responsible for majority of the snake bite deaths in the country. So, the four snakes that I'm going to talk, you're going to find majorly around you where you live, right? So these are the big four snakes that are actually venomous and can cause human death. So it's very important for you to know the snakes, how it looks. It might happen that when you spot a snake, you actually get to know that whether the snake is venomous or not. You can actually identify. So if it's a cobra, step away from the snake, or if it's a viper, step away from the snake. So I'm actually going to help you identify all the snakes, the big four of India. The first and foremost is the spectacle cobra. You might have seen this snake. The snake is very common across India. Now, why this is called a spectacle cobra is, just see that behind the hood, you'll find a design of a spectacle. So any snake raising its hood is cobra, right? And any cobra having the mark of the spectacle behind its hood is called a spectacle cobra. It's neurotoxic in nature. So there are two types of venom in snakes, right? There are two types of snakes. One is neurotoxic venomous snakes, and one is hemotoxic venomous snakes. Now, neurotoxic snakes are snakes that actually have the venom, which are called neurotoxins, which actually affect the central nervous system of human body. And hemotoxic venom venomous snakes are snakes that actually contain, that actually have the hemotoxin in its venom. And this hemotoxic venom are responsible for affecting your muscles and your blood. It actually liquefies your muscles, and it stops the property of blood clotting in your body. So if you're bitten by a hemotoxic snake, the property of blood clotting in your body will die down. That means, just try to understand that whenever you face injuries, blood start coming out from your body, you'll find that after a point of time, the blood will dry. The blood starts clotting, right? So that, more and more blood does not flow out, right? So it's called blood clotting. So when you're bitten by a hemotoxic snake, the blood clotting property of the body dries down, right? So you see the spectacle cobra, it's neurotoxic in nature. You can see this is one of the snakes that I rescued some years back. This is a spectacle cobra. Monocoel cobra. It's again a species of cobra you'll find, raising its hood. If you're someone living near in the areas of Tamil Nadu, Telangana, rarely you're going to find this snake, but it's very important for you to identify these snakes. You're going to find a eye mark at the back of the hood. And if you ever find a cobra with the eye mark, it's a monocoeled cobra, right? You can see it, how it looks. Now, banded crate. This is another such species. Any such species or any such snake that you find that has all these demarcations on the body: black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. It's a crate. It's a highly venomous snake and is responsible. It's one of the most dangerous snakes found in the country and is responsible for tens of thousands of deaths across the country, right? So, it's called a banded crate. Yellow, black, yellow, black. Just try to identify the snake. Any snake you find with this black, yellow, get away from it. It's highly neurotoxic in nature. And this is what you call a banded crate. And this is the common Indian crate. This is what you call the common Indian crate. Any black snakes that you find that have this pair of white bands across his body, it's a common crate, right? So just try to watch this snake properly. You're going to find a snake of black color, maybe grayish, maybe a bit brownish, right? But it is going to have white bands across the body. Now, there are a lot of snakes in the country which has white bands. So you might confuse those snakes, which might be non-venomous with this venomous common Indian crate, right? So the white bands that you find on the body, you'll find this white bands come with a pair. You're going to find those white bands in the form of pair, right? So it's going to be a common Indian crate. So the image that you're seeing is the image of a common Indian crate, and this is a banded crate. Now, this is a Russell's viper. Any snake that you find that has a triangular head, any snake that you find that has a triangular head, high chance it's going to be a venomous snake and it's going to be a viper. Now, these vipers are hemotoxic in nature. I hope you know what's the meaning of a hemotoxic snake, right? Now, any snake that you have in front of you that has a that has a triangular shaped head, and you'll find all this circular marks on the body, this round, 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 round marks on the body, is a Russell viper. I am sure that majority of you watching the session might have at least come across a snake once in your life. This is a saw-scaled viper. Again, the features through which you can identify it is is going to have a triangular body, and you're going to find all the scales in the form of a saw. Just try to figure out the scales on the body. It's in the form of a saw, and hence it's called a saw-scaled viper. This is how a saw scaled viper looks. It's basically very tiny in shape. It's very tiny. So this is what you call a saw scale viper. You can see the head. It's a triangular head. And the pupil of the snake, you're going to find the pupil of the snake, the pupil on the eyes, it's going to be vertical in nature. Now you see the people, you see this image, you're going to find the pupil of the snake. And you see the eye, the pupil of the snake is vertical and not horizontal, right? So this is how a saw-scaled viper looks. If you watch the scales of this particular species of snake, you're going to identify that it's a saw-scaled viper. Now, signs and symptoms and first aids when a snake bites you. So, before we start off with this, it's very important for you. See, I'm going to talk for only 40 minutes. It's very hard for me to describe you all the common species of snakes that are found around you. But majorly, you're going to find a lot of non-venomous species of snakes around you. Maybe a rat snake, maybe a bronzeback tree snake, maybe a checkered keelback, maybe a wolf snake, maybe a python, the Indian rock python, maybe a red sand boa. It's going to be a very interesting journey for you. Just go to Google, click on the search bar and type common Indian snakes. You're going to find the images and description of all the snakes, and you're going to learn about all the different types of non-venomous and venomous snakes that you commonly find around you. So, now starting off with the signs, symptoms, and first aid. How to avoid snake bites. Now, I hope if you're not able to remember this, make sure you keep the screen on full screen mode. Take a screenshot of this. When you walk in the open, use protective clothing such as long pants, boots, preferably thick hiking ones. If you're someone who goes to hiking, make sure you're wearing boots. If you're walking through long grass areas, walking through fields where the long grass, make sure you're not wearing a chappal. You're not wearing slippers. You're actually wearing boots. During evening or nighttime, ensure that you always carry a flashlight with you. You wouldn't want to accidentally trod on a snake on a dark path. It might happen to rest. You stop at a place at night to rest, and you put your hand on the branch of a tree, and just beside your hand you're going to find a snake. It has happened a lot with me. I've committed this mistake, lucky enough not to be bitten by the snake, because snakes are masters of camouflage. It is going to be right in front of your eyes, but you won't be able to see it because it is going to hide itself in the nature through the morph of its body. Do not reach into dark corners, gaps without examining them. Remember, snakes often hide in over there. I've come across a lot of rescue cases where what actually happened was the snake was actually found inside the boot. The snake was actually found inside a shoe. The snake was actually found inside a wardrobe. It's quite possible. You'll often find snakes hiding in gaps or corners. So make sure you just don't put your hand in a dark area just like that. If you're especially staying in a region where there is a lot of snakes, do not reach. Sorry, pile of woods, bricks, or stones are also perfect hiding places for snakes. Be cautious while cleaning or handling. Do not sleep on the floor in snake prone areas. Try to use an elevated service to avoid being in the way of slithering snake. If you're someone who sleeps on the floor, make sure you're using a mosquito net, because often at night, snakes like crate will try to come near your body to get that warmth, right? And when you will try to turn sideways, you'll lay over the snake and it will bite you out of defense, and you're going to die. That's how snake bites happen in village areas. If you see a snake, do not disturb it, avoid it, and it will not harm you. Never try to rescue a snake by imitating TV shows, especially if you're not sure of the species. It never ends well for the human or the snake. So, if you're someone who wants to be a hero, upload good photos and cool photos on social media platform, to get a lot of attraction and love and likes and comments from people, you're doing it wrong. If you're someone who are not expert in handling snake, don't try to catch the snake. Just try to stay away from the snake. It will move away from its own. Don't try to be a hero. Common locations of snake bites. The X mark shows the potential site of snake bites, majorly on hands or on your feet. You can see how a snake bite looks. So basically, when a snake bites you, if it's a venomous snake, you're going to find two puncture marks on your body. So if a venomous snake is biting you, you're going to find two puncture marks on your body. But there is going to be an exception. So basically, when a non-venomous snake bites you, basically there are going to be scratches, minor, scratches on your body. But when a venomous snake bites you, there are going to be two definite puncture marks on your body, except a crate. When a crate bites you, there's not going to be a single puncture mark on your body. So, end of the solution. Whenever you're bitten by a snake, visit a hospital as soon as possible if you are not an expert in identifying the snake. Signs and symptoms of venomous snake bites. The following are a few of the most. Make sure you're taking the screenshot because it won't be easy for you to remember everything through the session. Make sure you take the screenshot, take your time, and learn and remember all these things. The following are the few of the most common symptoms of envenomation. Due to a snake bite, symptoms may occur soon after the snake or take hours to appear. A minimum of 24-hour observation of patient is suggested. Puncture mark or scratches on suspected bite area. At times, marks may not be visible, as I have stated. Bleeding at bite side. These are the signs and symptoms of a venomous snake bites. Bleeding at bite side, unusual pain around the bitten area and limb, swelling, nausea, you'll feel like vomiting, headache, vomiting, stomach ache, difficulty in swallowing or drinking, and then double or blurred vision. You are going to have a blurred vision or you're going to have a double vision. Drooping eyelids, your eyelids are going to fall down. Difficulty in talking. Bleeding in gums. Dark or brownish urine. Bloody urine. Giddiness. So, if you're going to find all the signs and symptoms after a snake bite, high chances that you have been bitten. 99.99% the chances that you have been bitten by a venomous snake, right? Signs and symptoms of venomous snake bite. You can see how things look. You can see the drooping eyelids. You can see the swelling of the limb. You can see the blisters in the bite area. You can see the change in color of tissue around the bite area. So this is how victims of a snake bite looks and the region of bite. Do's and don'ts in case of snake bites. This is very important. You see right below, do it right. R stands for reassure, I stands for immobilize, G and H stands for go to hospital, T stands for tell the doctor. Remember that only 15 out of 290 known species of snakes can cause a serious health problem. Not all of them are common and found across the country, so your chance of getting bitten by a venomous snake are very low. In case of snake bite, ensure that the patient remains calm and take control of the situation at the earliest. A patient who is calm has much higher chances of surviving a venomous snake. Now, you have to understand this fact that when a snake bites me, or if you find someone who has been bitten by a snake, just make sure that the person does not panic. Because if the person panics, the rate of heartbeat is going to increase and the speed with which the venom is going to flow towards the heart will increase. You panic, your rate of heartbeat is going to increase and the speed with which the venom is going to flow towards the heart is going to increase, right? So the time that you will have in hand to survive is going to be very less. So in case of a snake bite, ensure that the patient remains calm and take control of the situation at the earliest. A patient who is calm has much higher chances of surviving a venomous snake bite. Even if you know that the snake in question is a venomous snake, you should not announce that to the patient. Provide the first aid and move the patient to the hospital at the earliest, preferably with the golden hour. Reassure the patient that you are going to take him to the hospital for observation. So you're going to make sure that the patient is not at all panicking. Reassure him that he is going to survive and he just need to see the doctor and a couple of injections and he is going to come out good. Remove rings, bangles from the bitten limb. They may be swelling later and may force ornaments to act as a tight tourniquet. So tourniquet is nothing but tight objects around your body. So if somebody is bitten by a snake, make sure once he's bitten, immediately remove the belt or any tight elastic materials like socks, rings around your fingers. Remove it as soon as possible because it might happen that after 2 to 3 hours of snake bite, when you reach the hospital, then if you try to remove all these tourniquets, it might happen that the human who has been bitten by a snake might face a cardiac arrest. So if you have failed to remove all these tourniquets or tight objects around the body of the victim on the spot, as soon as the snake has bitten him or her, make sure you don't remove the tourniquets later on. Let the doctor handle it. Remove dirt from the bite location if there is any visible dirt. Do not wash and clean the wound. Massaging during the wash or cleaning the bitten area will help the venom to spread faster during the circulatory system. So just leave the bitten area as much as possible. Just leave it. You don't need to provide turmeric over there. You don't need to provide haldi over there or Dettol or Savlon. There is no absolute need of doing it. Do not cut the wound open and drain the blood. It's a very common practice in India. You try to cut open the wound and the blood drains out because you have to understand the fact that I have talked about that particular snake that is hemotoxic in nature. So if you're bitten by a hemotoxic snake, that means the blood clotting property of your body will stop. And if you try to cut open the wound with the hope that the venom will come out, the blood will come out in return, and it is going to be a huge bleeding, and the person surviving, the chances of the victim surviving is going to be very less. Do not attempt to suck the venom out of from the bitten area. Do not give alcohol, coffee, tea if the patient is thirsty. Give some water. I'm thirsty, I'm going to take a cup of coffee. But luckily I have not been bitten by a snake. Walk or run if you are the patient. The lesser the body movement, the better it is. Make sure if somebody has been bitten by a snake or if you have been bitten by a snake, lesser the body movement, the better it is for you. Apply traditional remedies or go to the local faith healer. Do not apply traditional remedies or go to the local faith healer. So, the most trusted first aid that you can give is a crepe bandage or maybe a torn piece of cloth. So, the first and foremost first aid that you need to administer to the victim of a snake bite before taking him to the hospital is a crepe bandage or any torn piece of cloth. But there is a trick. Use the pressure bandage and start wrapping around the finger from the bite location. If you don't have the pressure bandage, use a clean cloth which is about 4 inches wide and minimum a meter in length. Do not tie the bandage too tight or too loose. Just try to understand this fact. Do not tie the bandage too tight or too loose. We are not trying to cut off the blood circulation. We are slowing down the circulation by immobilizing the limb and also choking the lymphatic vessels to slow down the lymph fluid. Now, if I'm tying, for example, if the snake has bitten me over here and I try to tie it over here too tightly, then the venom will not flow towards the heart. I will survive, but the moment I'm being treated, higher are the chances that the finger where the snake has bitten you needs to be amputated. The doctors will cut off your fingers because all the venom gets stuck over here and it reacts very badly. Now, if you tie it very loose, the venom will flow very fast towards your heart. So you have to make sure that neither you tie the crepe bandage too tight, neither you tie it too loose. Right? This is how it works. Keep the bitten portion limb below the heart level. You may not always have a pressure bandage handy, in which you can use a clean cloth about 4 inch wide and 1 meter long. This is how it works. Again, understand, keep the bitten portion limb below the heart level to make sure that the venom is not traveling very fast towards the heart. And that is the end of the brief session that we had for today, right? Now, if I had wanted, I could have shown you a lot of things regarding snakes, but that's quite not possible during a webinar, right? That's quite not possible during a webinar. So my responsibility for today's session was to give you a brief, precise, and important knowledge about snakes that you commonly find around yourself. I hope I have been able to resolve all the various myths and misconceptions that you have regarding snakes around you. I hope I have been able to help you know about the big four or a highly venomous top four snakes across the country that you can easily identify. I hope I have been able to teach you the various symptoms when a snake bite happens. I hope I have been able to teach you the various do's and don'ts when a snake bite happens. So, after this session, make sure that you are going to Google, doing a lot of research about snakes. All the basic things that you needed to know, being a layman, I have explained. But in order to know about the different species of snakes across the country, go to Google, just search commonly found snakes around us. Just try to observe the snake, watch the snake, try to identify its color, its size, its morph, where it's found in India, its food habit, diet, everything, right? And let me assure you the fact, it's going to be a very interesting journey for you. So we can start off with the question and answer session.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, shall we move on to question session?
Yeah, we can start off with the question session.
Good.
Okay. So the first question from Vishnu Shankar is: recently we tried to rescue a rat snake. Try how to handle snake. Now, if you're trying to rescue, you just hit me up on Instagram. You're going to find a lot of rat snakes in my profile, right? I don't generally put a lot of snake images on my social media handle because I don't find any use of it, right? Sometimes I do. You'll find the way that I've handled those rat snakes. Now you have to understand that you can't handle the rat snake from the bottom, right? If you try to handle the rat snake from below the anal gland, you know what an anal gland is, right? The anal gland is a gland from where the snake secretes. So if you try to catch hold of the rat snake from below the anal gland, higher is the chances that you're going to injure the snake. So just try to make sure that you try to catch the rat snake from the middle part of the body, and then slowly try to catch the snake from the other hand, some distance away from its head. Now, for example, if this is a rat snake, this is the anal part of the body, this is the head, and this is the mid part of the body. So whenever I catch a rat snake, first I will try to catch this rat snake with my hand from here, and with my other hand I'll just try to catch the snake just some distance away from its head, so that so that the snake is under control. Now, the moment it will try to catch the rat snake from the middle part of the body, it will try to move like this. It will try to get free. It will try to move like this. It will try to make a lot of hissing noise. A lot of times it will happen when you try to catch a rat snake, because rat snakes are highly aggressive species of snakes. The moment you'll try to catch rat snakes from the middle part of the body, you'll find it try to attack you, it will try to bite you, it will try to move like this. So make sure you're catching the rat snake from the mid part of the body, or just the below from the mid part of the body, and with the next hand softly grab the part of the body just below, some distance away from its head. So if this is the head, I'll try to grab it from here with my second hand, right? And it might happen that you might get bitten by a snake, though it's not a healthy habit, but no worries about that, because uh, the thing is, it's a non-venomous snake. So, but if you manage not to get bitten by a rat snake, boss, you know how to handle a snake very well. Getting bitten by a snake, it's not a good thing. It's not a good habit. Sangram writes, sir, can we identify the snakes by seeing at the bite region? No, of course not. You can't identify the snakes by seeing at the bite region. You can identify whether the snake is a venomous snake or a non-venomous snake or not with 90% precision. If it's a non-venomous snake, it's going to be, you know, little bit of scratches that will fade away within 1 or 2 hours. Now, 2 days back, I rescued a bronzeback tree snake, right? I rescued a bronzeback tree snake from Goa, and it bit me a couple of times on my finger. It's very difficult to handle, and you won't find any bite marks on my hand. Now, I had a venomous snake, had a venomous snake bite me. If I was bitten by a venomous snake, you would have found two puncture marks on my bodies, right? But there is again an exception. The exception is, if you haven't bitten by a crate, you're not going to find any bite mark or any puncture mark in your body, and a crate is highly venomous in nature. We can take in the next question. Whatever queries you have, regarding snakes, drop down on the comment section. We are going to resolve all your questions for the next 10 minutes, and then we'll call it off. Whatever question, even if it's a silly question, drop it down on the comment section. I'm going to resolve your question. So Shobhan Nadri writes, someone suggests clean the snake bite area with soap water. But sir, you said don't clean the wound with soap water. What is correct? The snake venom is a highly complex chemical compound. The soap is a highly complex chemical compound. Now, when you're going to apply soap water, higher are the chances that the soap and the snake venom might react. And it might turn out to be worse for the snake bite victim. And hence, never use soap water. There's no point of using it. It won't do any good. Even if the soap does not react with the venom, it still won't do any good to the victim. The moment snake bites you, go to the hospital, administer an anti-snake venom. End of the story. Congratulations, sir, for the nice lecture. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Arun Kumar. My question is, which disease is caused in snakes due to milk feeding? Uh, there is no such disease. The thing is, snakes can't digest milk. Snakes are not mammals, they are reptiles. They are lactose intolerant, right? And it might also happen the snake might die due to being fed with milk. So reptiles, especially snakes, are lactose intolerant. Their digestive system can't handle milk, and hence they might suffer a lot, and even they might die. Is venomous snakes have any medical significance? Of course, medical venomous snakes have a lot of medical significance. There are a lot of medicines that are being manufactured across the world that is being derived from the snake venom. There are thousands of medicines in this world that we take, whether homeopathic or whether allopathic medicine, you'll find snake venom components in it. And hence you'll find a lot of researchers getting hold of snakes, with the forest department taking out the venom, and then they provide it to the medical industry in a licensed manner, not illegally. You need to have license for that. For this specific reason, you do a bit of research about the Irulas. IRULAS. The Irulas. The Irulas are one of the well-known communities in India. Right? They are a type of a tribe who are experts in catching snake. They'll find you snakes from nowhere. They know where the snake stays, where the snake is going to go to have its food. They know each and everything. So a lot of big researchers get hold of these Irulas to actually spot snakes and do the studies. Any more questions? We are going to take 3 more questions and then we'll call it wraps.
Sir, there is so many questions is there, sir. I am pinning out the important question.
Yeah, tell me, sir. Please suggest some home remedies to reduce the effect of poison. First of all, sir, Dr. Arun Kumar, sir, it's not poison, it's venom. So poison is something that might not kill you, but venom is something that is going to kill you, right? So it's venom. There is no home remedies. There is no home remedies. If anybody is claiming to have home remedies, he or she is faking you. Stop entertaining those facts. You're going to find a lot of people in the rural areas who are going to tell you this medicine, Baba Ramdev medicine, Patanjali medicine, Rakhi Sawant medicine. You are never going to find such medicine in the market that can actually treat a snake venom. All those tablets. The only home remedy is tie your hand with a crepe bandit. As I've mentioned before, the crepe bandit part. If you're bitten by a snake, make sure that the bitten part of the body is below the heart level. Make sure that the victim is not panicking. Lesser movement of body parts of that victim, and you're tying a crepe bandit in that bitten part of the area. That's the only possible home remedy. And while you do all this thing, make sure you get in touch with the hospital authorities and move the patient to the hospital as soon as possible.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as organizer, can I ask one question, sir?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
The most and foremost important thing is about the kit the using for rescue of snake.
Okay. So
Sir,
basic
about that, sir. How to handle and on what measurement we have to have a stick.
Okay. So make sure that the stick that you're having, I'll just hold on. Deep.
Yes.
Can you just pass me that stick?
And what are the materials should be there with the rescue team?
Okay. So first and foremost thing, if you're going to rescue snakes, make sure you're wearing boots. Next, you have torches, right? And make sure you're wearing full pants. Third, you can buy snake hooks. It comes for 3,000 or 4,000 in the market. It comes for 2,500. But we are Indians. We are known for jugards. We can make we can make our materials out of scrap, right? So I have never bought a snake rescue tool in my whole life, because I wanted to save my pocket money. So I've always manufactured from my own. So the first and foremost important thing is to have a torch with you. Second, you need to have a good bag, a huge bag. So that is the bag inside which you're going to put the snake, right? That is the bag inside which you're going to put a snake. Or another thing that you can do is, can you just pass me the bottle? That yellow bottle, that yellow bottle. Yeah, thank you. For example, this is a, just take this as a pipe. Just take this as a pipe. If you are someone who is facing a very ferocious cobra or a king cobra or any venomous snake, just consider this as a pipe, a huge pipe, a PVC pipe, right? Now this is a bottle as an example. This is just a bottle example. The pipe that you're going to use is going to be, the diameter of the pipe, the hole is going to be much more larger, much more larger, right? So what you're going to do is, you take this pipe, at one end of the pipe you place that cloth bag. At one end of the pipe you place that cloth bag, you tie that cloth bag, and another end of the pipe you put it in front of the snake, maybe at the corners of the wall. So put this pipe on the corner of the wall. So snakes have this, if you find a snake at the inside a home, so snakes always have this habit of gliding through the corners of the wall. So snakes, you won't find the snakes, majority of the time you won't find the snakes moving throughout the house. You'll find the snakes moving through the corners of the wall, moving through the sides of the wall. So place, for example, if this is the wall, if my hand is the wall, I'm going to place this pipe at the corner of the wall on the floor. At the behind, I have this cloth fixed. So the snake is going to come right in front of it. The snake is going to come and it will enter the PVC pipe. It will enter the PVC pipe, it will go inside the hole, and ultimately it will go inside the bag. And once the snake goes inside the bag, take out the bag, tie it, and then relocate it to some other place. So whenever you're catching a snake, just make sure that you are not relocating the snake, to more than 200 to 100 meters. Just make sure, just for the satisfaction of the people who are watching you rescue the snake, you take away the snake from that particular place, but just make sure that you're not relocating the snake to more than 100 200 meters. It's not going to be good for the snake, because it is already acclimatized to the local environment, to the local ecology, right? So it might not be suitable. If you are trying to relocate the snake, for example, 2 or 3 kilometers away to a forest, it might happen that particular ecosystem might not suit the snake and it might die, right? It might not find the adequate type of animals that it needs for food. So make sure whenever you're rescuing a snake, don't relocate it to more than 100 to 200 meters. Whenever you're rescuing a snake, to all the people who are watching you while rescuing the snake, make sure you're educating them. Make sure you're passing down the information. That is the response. That is the biggest responsibility of a snake rescuer. It's not only about rescuing the snake, but also about educating all those people who are watching you. So I hope you understood how to rescue a snake. Now, this is a stick that I actually ordered, from Amazon, right? It comes for 600 rupees, right? It's an adjustable stick. I can stretch it, wait, let me show you. See, I can see. See, I can stretch it, you know. See, see, I can stretch it. You can see it. It is an adjustable hiking stick, right? Now I got it for 600 rupees. Now I'm going to go to a welder. I'm going to go to a welder and ask him to weld me a U-shaped aluminum rod. A U-shaped. It is going to be in the form of a U shape. Let me help you out with that. Just hold on for a second. Just give me 15 seconds. I'll help you with this. So it's called a hook. You have to go to the welder and ask him to weld you an aluminum hook, which is of the shape of a U, right? So it is going to be shaped something like this. I'm very bad at drawing. but I hope you can see it, right? So this is going to be the aluminum hook. You can see the hook. You need to go to the welder and tell him, boss, I need an aluminum hook. Just weld me this hook. The diameter can be, 0.3 millimeters. Sorry, 0.3 centimeters. The diameter you can keep can be, I mean, the thickness of the hook that you're going to make the welder do, that you're going to make the welder manufacture. The diameter should be around 0.2 to 0.3 centimeters or 0.5 centimeters, right? So the moment you have the hook, what you need to do is you just need to take the hook and just put it inside over here. You just press the hook and you'll put it inside over here, and you have the hook ready. So you buy you a welding hook. You go to Google and search how does a snake hook likes, how does a snake hook look like. Get the welder to manufacture you an aluminum hook and just insert it over here. You have the snake hook ready. And one more thing, you find another tool in the market to actually catch snake. Is it's like a clipper. It is a clip. If you find a snake, you just put the clip on the snake, and the clip actually catches the snake like this. You'll find long clippers. It is also called tongs. Never use those. Those are harmful for the snakes. It might break the vertebrae of the snakes, high chances, and the snake won't survive for long. So if you want to rescue a snake, the only possible way is hook, a PVC pipe, and a cloth bag, and a torch with you, and good reflexes. Make sure you always keep yourself at a safer distance from the striking point of a snake.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. That's all from my side. Any more thing? Any more questions that we can have? Okay, Tribal Ghost writes, is there any Ayurvedic alternative solution cure for snakes bites? No. Even if Baba Ramdev with his huge beard and flat stomach, hairy chest, if he claims that he has some medicine that can treat snake bite, he's making a fool out of you, just the way some days back he made a fool of the whole country by stating that he has found the medicine for COVID-19. So never trust all these Ayurvedic babas and all those Ayurvedic solutions. Please don't do it. I'm not against anyone, but there is no such medicine or Ayurvedic solution, anything, nothing, no herbs, nothing. No herbs, nothing. Even if you pray to Lord Shiva, or even if you consume cannabis that you call ganja or marijuana, still you are not going to survive. The only way to survive a snake bite when you're bitten by a snake is to go to the hospital. End of the story. Are there more species of venomous snakes or non-venomous snakes with regard to the numbers in our Indian ecosystem? Yes, there are around 20 to 27 species of non-venomous snake, but you're not going to find majorly find them around you. You're not going to find spectacle cobra, monocol cobra, Russell viper, saw-scale viper, banded crate, and common Indian crate. These are the major snakes that you're going to commonly find around you. These are the commonly found venomous snakes around you. So it's very important for you to identify. Apart from that, there are going to be a lot of other venomous snakes like the Malaban pit viper, the hum nose pit viper. There are a lot of semi-venomous snakes like tree snake, for example, the green wine snake or the brown wine snake or the cat snake, which is called the boiga species, right? You're going to find a lot of these snakes. It's all about you going to Google, searching, try to understand how this snake looks, and once you have that thing picture inside your brain that how the particular species of snake looks, it's game sorted for you. In Iraq, our doctors do not know. They determine the type of snake. Is there a specific medicine for each type or general medicine? Yes. Finally, I have a very good question. So, Junaid, I don't know what is the situation in Iraq at the moment. How do doctors tackle it? As you have stated, in Iraq, our doctors do not know. They determine the type of snake. Is there any specific medicine for each type or general medicine? Okay. In India, what basically happened? We have the polyvenom. So in India, we have the polyvenom. So there is only one anti-venom product. There is only one type of anti-venom that can treat a spectacle cobra bite, that can treat crate bite, that can treat a Russell viper bite, that can treat saw scale viper bite. But you know, if I'm not wrong, this polyvenom can treat a common Indian crate bite, but it won't treat a bandit crate bite. This polyvenom can treat a Russell viper or a saw scale viper bite, but it won't treat a Malaban pit viper bite, or it won't treat a hum nose pit viper bite. So this polyvenom can only help you survive in case of bites from certain specific species or certain venomous species of snakes that I've mentioned. Right? These, you might have seen those big four, species of snake that I've explained in the initial phases of the presentation. Those are the species, except the bandit crate. The polyvenom can treat all the rest of the big four snakes in India if they bite you, right? So again, if you're bitten by a Malaban pit viper or Humnose pit viper, you have to just wait for the Almighty to bless you in order to survive. That's it, right? So certain countries like Australia, they have specific anti-venoms for a specific species of snake, but still there are a lot of species of snake that doesn't have an anti-venom to it, right? So again, Junaid, I don't know what is the situation of your country, but the thing is, if the doctors are trying to determine the species of snake before administering the anti-snake venom, then I probably think that there is going to be different types of antivenoms for different species of snake. But I'm not sure that how does the doctors actually determine that which type of snake has bitten you through the bite mark. I think they might be running a lot of tests on the blood samples, but it is going to waste a lot of time on the patient. Dhaneshwar writes, Lycodon capucinus is found in my village. You mean a wolf snake? Their number is less. That is an endangered species. Endangered species. What aspects of conservation of the species? You don't need conservation of the Lycodon species. You will find the barred wolf snake. You will find the striped wolf snake. You're going to find the common wolf snake. Right now, the thing is the different types of wolf snake. So these wolf snakes don't need conservation. The thing is, you don't find lesser in numbers. You don't basically find lesser in numbers. Basically, these snakes are very hard to track. They are especially a nocturnal species. That means they are highly active at night time. So it's very hard to track the species. Very hard to spot the species by the way they wrap themselves. They camouflage themselves around nature. So it's very hard to track them. So I don't think there is any specific need of conserving the Lycodon species, right? The wolf snakes. The thing is, whenever you find these wolf snakes, just leave it alone. You can just pick it. You might get bitten because it's very aggressive in nature, but it's non-venomous. Puneet, right? What interesting experience have you had with snakes while working? Okay, what interesting aspect? Okay, once I found a snake. It has happened with me twice. That is, I found in two of my rescue calls, one in Dehradun and one in Bangalore, that I found the snake inside the boots, inside the shoes. Once I found the snake on the latrine, uh, the place where you sit down and poop, right? That is the place where I actually found a cobra. And another interesting experience that I will state is, maybe the first time when I was bitten by a snake, I was bitten by a cobra when I was quite inexperienced in around 5 to 6 years back. But I thought, I was around 30-40 kilometers away from the nearest hospital. It was a village area and there was no signs of transport. I was deep inside a village area inside the forest, and I was bitten by a venomous cobra, a spectacle cobra, due to my own negligence because I got distracted by the crowd. And I still have the bite mark on my hand. It won't be visible through the webcam. And I thought I am dead. So I started recollecting all the good memories from my past, thinking that I'm going to, spend the last 20 to 30 minutes of my life in a peaceful manner. And I was also, feeling sad about the fact that I'm going to die without even making a single girlfriend in my life. So, but luckily, that snake bite turned out to be a non snake bite turned out to be a dry bite. That is, the snake actually bit me, but it bit me to warn me, and it did not inject venom inside my body. So these are the three probably these are the three most well-known experience of mine that is close to my heart. Thank you so much, sir. So we can wrap it up, sir. Or if there is any more question, I can answer it. Otherwise, we can wrap it up for the day. To all the people, once again, it's not easy to understand about the snakes through a webinar. So my responsibility was to plant some basic information inside your head. That is very much important to understand the behavior, ecology, and different aspects of snake. Make sure you go back, you do a lot of Google and try to understand more about snakes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, shall we conclude?
Yeah, we can conclude.
Okay. I thank all the participants and the resource person, NIRIT DATTA, and also the management and the colleague and all the members, and especially the our war sir, Mr. T.S. Subramaniam sir. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. And dear participants, I have sent a mail, the feedback form